Splatoon is a fun and innovative third-person shooter where getting a game over is actually kind of hard. You have to really try to fail. So I thought, why not make it harder for myself? So what if I try to beat Splatoon without dying? But even that sounds way too easy, so I'm going to do a continuous deathless run across the entire series. Meaning, if I die in Splatoon 3, I need to restart all the way back to Splatoon 1. People say this challenge is impossible. Okay, so no one's actually saying that, but I'm here to prove them wrong. Splatoon 1 begins with the Great Zapfish getting kidnapped. Captain Cuttlefish immediately blames the Octarians because of racism, which will be a talking point later. So I became Agent 3 at the Squidbeak Splatoon. In order to beat this game, I need to beat 27 levels and 5 bosses without dying. And I begin this noble quest by wandering around the hub world trying to find invisible kettles. Levels are scattered across each overworld and you have to complete all of them to unlock the boss. It's pretty straightforward. World 1 is incredibly easy. Nintendo practically holds your hand for these levels. Even the first boss, the Octo Stomp, is a joke. But here's the thing, every single level has the same objective. Just get to the goal. No puzzle levels, no time limits, no gimmicks, just walk forward and shoot things. The only ones that stand out are the Octoling levels. It's the same goal, but now you're playing on multiplayer maps against enemies who can actually fight back. I mean, if you're a professional like me, not even there. Oh. I was not expecting that to happen. That's what I get for showing off. After deleting my save data and humbling myself, World 2 went smoothly. I even showed the Octo Nozzle who's boss. Then World 3 and 4 were so powerful, they corrupted my footage. You guys are lucky I have footage from future attempts so that I can show you the Octo World and Octo Maw boss fight. I mean, I didn't die again, obviously. Okay, so maybe I did die again, but that's something to look forward to. Eventually, Captain Cuttlefish gets kidnapped, so Agent 1 and 2 step in to help. They're very obviously Callie and Mari, the Squid sisters, even though they're technically cousins and Cuttlefish's granddaughters. They asked me to rescue their grandpa, so I definitely didn't fall through the floor and head off to fight the final boss, DJ Octavio. He's not that hard, just long. Punch his fist back at him, toss bombs back at him, rinse and repeat. Midway through, the Squid Sisters start singing, and suddenly it's the most dramatic moment in Squid history. This musical moment becomes a canon event. You'll see what I mean later. And with that, I beat Splatoon 1. With so much more death than expected, especially for a campaign that's not even that good. The story is basic. I love the characters, but the campaign, I couldn't care less. The levels all blurred together. I genuinely couldn't tell a World 5 level from a World 2 level. Every stage feels like walk forward, shoot Octarians, go home. But let's be real, nobody bought Splatoon for the campaign. Splatoon was Nintendo's attempt at online multiplayer, and they nailed it. Instead of kills, you win by covering the most turf. It was unique, colorful, and ridiculously addicting. If you weren't in a turf war, you were buying clothes to boost your stats for Turf War. It was so fun that 1 in every 3 Wii U owners had it, and I was one of them. It also had some incredible lore with the humans dying out, allowing squids and octopuses to evolve into the dominant species. Unfortunately, in 2024, the servers shut down. No more Turf Wars, no more squid bagging. But I've got the memories. The music, the gameplay, the characters, everything was incredible. Except for the campaign. Still, for a brand new IP on a console that nobody owned, it sold insanely well. It was so good that when the Switch came out, it needed to get a sequel ASAP. But did Nintendo rush it? Now in the hip new city of Inkopolis Square, the stakes are higher, the colors are brighter, and the Great Zapfish has been kidnapped. Again. Also, Callie from the Squid Sisters is missing, so naturally her cousin Marie recruits me to tear those slimy Octarians limb from limb. Her words, not mine. And I guess get the Zapfish back too. Thus begins my career as Agent 4 of the new Squidbeak Splatoon. In order to beat this game, I need to beat 27 levels and 5 bosses without dying. Again, there's more to do in the overworld this time. Balloons to pop, secrets to find, lore to ignore, you know, things to keep you busy between the exact same levels as the last game. Yeah, the campaign hasn't changed much. So how have I been surviving? The #1 lifesaver is armor. It lets you take a hit and live to tell the tale. It even stacks. But no matter how much armor I've got, there's one boss I'll never beat. gravity. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Gravity's just cracked, man. But my biggest strength is that I never make the same mistake twice. Every reset, I've made it further than the last. And finally, I reached the Octo Oven. And the bosses are still a joke. In World 2, Sheldon forces me to use different weapons. This adds variety. Unfortunately, the missions are still just walk to the goal and shoot things. So variety doesn't help much. I got to the Octo Samurai and honestly, it's a solid fight. But the real MVP returns. He's from the last game, in case you forgot. The fourth boss, Octo Shower, sucks. Mostly because I just hate using the snipers. Also because it just flies around while I miss my shots and slowly lose my will to live. Then Callie finally shows up, and she's evil now. She's working with the slimy Octarians. Again, her words, not mine. And I don't know how to process this betrayal. But I make it through World 5, and suddenly I realize I haven't died in a while. Maybe I'm getting good at this. Maybe I just stopped doing dumb things. Either way, I made it to the final boss, DJ Octavio, and brainwashed Callie. He's using Hypno Shades to control her, but he still fights the same. Punches, bombs, fist-to-face routine. Then, in the most dramatic moment of the game, Callie JFK's her own cousin mid-battle. Luckily, she missed her brain, and the Squid Sisters reunite to sing a song so powerful, it literally powers up a Rainmaker, which I used to win. Or I would have if I didn't choke at the end. How did that happen? Now I have to replay all of Splatoon 1 and 2 again, just to dodge one punch. Luckily, that's exactly what I did. I defeated DJ Octavio again, saved Callie for the first time, and got the Zapfish back. Again. The game was easier overall. But man, did I choke so hard at the end. There's really not much to say about this campaign. It's basically Splatoon 1 slightly shinier edition. Same dull levels, same boring structure. Yeah, using different weapons helped, and the overworld stuff was neat, but it still all blends together. But unlike Splatoon 1, this game actually got DLC. And not just any DLC. It got the Octo Expansion. Ever since Splatoon 1, fans wanted to play as the Octolings, and finally, Nintendo listened. In Octo Expansion, you play as your very own Octoling. Canonically, you're one of the good ones, because during the DJ Octavio fight, the Squid Sisters music was so good that the Octolings just started defecting. See, I told you that this moment was a canon event. Once Captain Cuttlefish hears you hum to the Squid Sisters, he decides to stop being racist, which is some great character development. I love it when the main characters of my games are not racist. He gives me the title of Agent 8, and together we both set out to reach the Promised Land. 10,007 people have tried to get to the Promised Land before me and have failed. And honestly, I get it. This DLC is a game ender. To reach the surface, you ride an underground subway system, hopping from station to station in search of the 4 Thangs. Yes, that's what they're actually called. Each level has a different objective. One might be reach the goal using only specials. Another might be recreate a shape out of boxes. Others might want you to break every target or guide an 8-ball to the end without losing your sanity. This is what a real sequel campaign looks like. Every level feels unique, and for once, I actually wanted to see them all. But man, are they hard. Especially the 8-ball levels. Guide a ball through a level without letting it fall off the edge. If it does, instant death. No armor, no saves, just heartbreak. Luckily, despite having 80 levels, I only need to complete 21 of them to beat this section. Despite finding the most optimized route, that doesn't make the game any easier. I died 3 times and had to replay the first 2 games for hours. I was losing it. But eventually, I got all 4 Thangs, and this is just the first half of the game. Once you collect all 4 Thangs, the phone builds a transporter to take you to the Promised Land, which turns out to be a blender. Right before I become a calamari smoothie, Agent 3 swoops in and saves me. Now the real challenge begins, climbing to the surface. You sneak past enemies without getting spotted, you retrieve a weapon, then comes the first real gauntlet, climbing up falling boxes. It is extremely easy to fall to your death here, obviously, so I just need to be careful and take my time. After that, you jump through lasers, then the glowing core you have to activate and defend while being absolutely swarmed. This segment is brutal. Enemies come from every direction, and if you slip up once, it's an instant death. I needed to be careful because I was not doing all of this again. Eventually, I ride an elevator to the surface, but Agent 3 has been brainwashed by the phone, and it's up to me to stop them. The fight's not hard. Yet. And once I win, I finally make it to the surface. Pearl and Marina are waiting for me, and that should be it. But no. Remember that creepy old telephone? Well, turns out its job was to pass down humanity's knowledge to the next dominant species. But it saw how Inklings and Octolings were fighting each other over racism, so it said, yeah, you guys don't deserve this, so now he's going to nuke Inkopolis. Because of racism. To stop it, I have to activate ink bongs on the giant statue before it can charge its attack. It's literally a turf war to stop the apocalypse. And when I finally ink all of the nodes, Pearl pulls out her giant mech speaker and yells a final war cry that literally vaporizes the statue. I gain my freedom, Octolings are accepted, and everyone is safe. This is legitimately one of the best DLCs ever made. Nintendo took a risk. They knew the old campaigns were bland, so they threw out the formula and gave us a full challenge-based campaign, and it worked. Some levels were cheap, looking at you 8-ball, while others could be brutal, but I was excited to replay them, even during a deathless run. Not to mention, you unlock Octolings in the main game. But you unlock something else, Inner Agent 3. One of the hardest boss fights Nintendo has ever made.
Join us. Join us. Join us.
Thank God that boss is optional. Whew. Okay, maybe when the challenge is over, I'll give it a shot. So now that I can't hate Octolings, who am I supposed to hate? Well, Mr. Grizz has a few ideas. Welcome to Salmon Run, the new co-op mode where you hunt vicious, unfeeling, filthy, disgusting, slimy, lily-livered, spineless, scaly scuzz nuzzler, glorifying mosquito, bottom-feeding, mouth-breather salmonoids. Mr. Grizz's words, not mine. You hunt them for their golden eggs to satisfy Mr. Grizz's endless hunger. It is a really fun game mode, and I'm glad that there's finally something else to do other than turf wars. The more eggs you collect, the higher your pay grade, and the harder it gets. But Mr. Grizz rewards you greatly. Mr. Grizz keeps showing up. I wonder if he'll be important later. Wink towards the camera. Alright, let's move on to Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3 kicks off and, hey, I got a little buddy salmonoid. I guess I can't hate the salmonoids anymore. Then I check the news and, oh, come on! The great Zapfish has been kidnapped again! At this point, just slap a tracker on it. And Captain Cuttlefish goes back to his old ways and immediately blames the Octarians. So I become Agent 3. Again, and head out into the overworld. It seems like Nintendo's gone back to his old habit. Same level structure as Splatoon 1 and 2 and same linear design. I even fight DJ Octavio right off the bat and he's not the one behind the great Zapfish kidnapping. Then the floor collapses beneath me and the real game begins. Alright, that was a solid fake out. Not only did they learn from Octo Expansion, they perfected it. This is the best Splatoon campaign. Welcome to Alterna, the forgotten refuge of humanity and the source of the mysterious fuzzy ooze. If you touch it, you turn into a mammal, which I'm counting as a death, so I'm staying far away from it. Alterna is split into 6 open-ended sides, each packed with scattered levels. You play them to collect power eggs, clear ooze, and upgrade your gear. And thankfully, the levels are built like Octo Expansion, unique challenges instead of glorified hallways. Then just as I'm settling in, I'm interrupted by Deep Cut, the new idol group who are also thieves and maybe murderers. They're searching for treasure in Alterna and don't mind killing whoever gets in their way. But let's be real, they're not much of a threat. This is the easiest Splatoon game. Despite having 66 levels, you don't have to beat every level. You just need enough eggs to clear a path forward. But you can activate levels and then jump to them on the map, so sometimes you don't even need to clear a path. But I do need to beat all 3 bosses without dying. In Site 2, I fight Fry, who's using the corpse of my boy Octostomp to house her demonic eels. After avenging him, I get the first treasure. Then I skip straight to Site 4 and face Shiver, who comes at me with a shark, which is adorable, but I'm built different, getting me the second treasure. Captain Cuttlefish finally contacts me. Turns out Mr. Grizz is behind everything. See, I told you it was important. Finally, I make it to Big Man's domain. I've played these games before! With all 3 treasures collected, we finally unlock the rocket in the center of the map. You know, the big suspicious thing we probably should have checked first. And we begin the final assault. At first, I didn't even have a weapon, so little buddy has to do the fighting while I climb up, descend for some reason, then climb back up, but I'm too late. Mr. Grizz drains the life out of Captain Cuttlefish. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Grizz is a real bear. like an actual bear. His goal is to launch the rocket and cover the world in fuzzy ooze, turning everyone into mammals so that they may rise again. I tried to destroy the fuzz covering him, but he yeets me into space. Luckily, DJ Octavio shows up to save me, so the Squid Sisters start singing again, and Little Buddy, hearing that heavenly beat, evolves into Big Buddy. So he fends off Mr. Grizz as I vacuum up Grizz's weak spots before it's too late. Together we stop him and save the world. I know I teased in the beginning, if I die in Splatoon 3, I need to restart all the way back to Splatoon 1. But honestly, this game was so easy, I beat it on my first try. Splatoon 3 is hands down the best game in the series. It feels like what Splatoon 2 should have been, a true sequel. They took everything great from Octo Expansion and just made it better. Sure, it's easier overall, but there are some brutal levels that I skipped, because again, I can't die. Still, it's 100% worth playing all the way through. This is also the best final boss they've had so far. Mr. Grizz was just a great fight from beginning to end. Even outside the campaign, there are quality of life upgrades everywhere. You can walk around and test weapons while matchmaking. You can throw eggs and salmon run. There's even a card game now. For some reason. The only real downside, I don't care for Fry or Shiver, but Big Man is flawless, a perfect creature. And if you're feeling nostalgic, Splatoon 3 lets you visit Inkopolis Plaza from the first game, and even Inkopolis Square from the second. Wait a minute. Something's wrong here. The shops are closed. This is Splatoon 3's DLC, Side Order, where I return as Agent 8, but something's off. Inkopolis Square is colorless, Pearl is a drone, and Marina is missing. We hop into a strange elevator run by a new character named Ott. She's not that important, just Marina's friend. And she explains the deal. This is a roguelike. Every floor gives you upgrades called chips that boost damage, reduce ink, or improve drop rates. You choose your path, easy, hard, or rigorous levels depending on what upgrades you want. But here's the catch. If you die, you reset to floor 1. Well, I mean, I can't die because I'm doing a deathless run. But yeah, normally one death and you're sent back to the beginning. I eventually find Marina trapped inside a machine she built. And once I free her, Order is born. A being that wants to grayscale the entire world. For some backstory, Marina made this virtual world to help save sanitized Octarians. And I realized I never explained this. So, sanitized Octarians were the Octarians who got blended up in the Octo Expansion, turning into a special ink. That ink wipes your memories and turns you into a mindless drone. It's actually really dark. So now I need to climb 30 floors, beat 27 randomized levels, survive 2 bosses, and defeat Order all in one go. There are 5 mission types: defeat fleeting foes, destroy portals, escort turbine towers, protect zones, and push infinity balls, which thankfully can't fall off the ledges like those cursed 8 balls from Octo Expansion. Gelatins, these creepy ink skeletons swarm you constantly, so I have to take things slow and prioritize survival. The bosses I get this run are Pinging Martial, a big ball I shoot, and parallel cannons, which feels like tougher octolings. Both go down without much trouble. But this is it. This is a good run. I'm actually going to beat Side Order on my first try. Then I reach Order. The fight is simple. I need to destroy portals in order to lower his shields, and then I can attack. I nail phase 1, then 2, and final... I don't know what happened. I was actually one hit away from completing this challenge. I thought I was done, but I choked. I spiraled. I couldn't even look at Splatoon for days because of how humiliated I was from what happened. But I never make the same mistake twice. So let's do the final run together. Splatoon 1. Initiated as Agent 3, beat 4 bosses, defeat DJ Octavio, save the Great Sapfish. Splatoon 2. Initiated as Agent 4, beat 4 bosses, defeat DJ Octavio, save Callie and the Great Sapfish. Octo Expansion. Collect all 4 things, reach the surface, stop the phone, gain my freedom. Splatoon 3. Become new Agent 3, beat Fry, Shiver, and Big Man, save the world from Mr. Grizz in outer space. And finally, Side Order. Save Marina and climb 30 deadly floors. Just breathe and don't choke. And that's exactly what I did. I beat Order, but he still triggers the grayscaling of the world. Then something incredible happens. The music kicks in. literally, and my heartbeat seems to power a miracle. In the final fight, I'm given every upgrade in the game. I'm unstoppable. I destroyed Order for real. I did it. I completed every Splatoon campaign back to back without dying a single time. And just to be absolutely clear, this challenge was not fun at all. I've loved Splatoon ever since it first launched on the Wii U. It brought such a fresh, creative take to multiplayer shooters that it grew into one of Nintendo's most beloved modern series. Doing this no-death challenge gave me a whole new appreciation for the difficulty of these games, and finally reaching the ending for every game was so satisfying. But honestly, Splatoon is just a great series. Even the little details like how the Inklings backpacks change in each game show how much care and passion the devs poured into it. But we're not done yet. It's time for the bonus round. Remember that locker I pointed out during the Octo Expansion? Well, that's where you fight Inner Agent 3. It's just like the original Agent 3 fight, except now they've got more health, pinpoint accuracy, aggressive movements, and bombs that can track you called auto bombs. So yeah, slightly harder. Some would even say impossible. But can I beat them on my first try? Can I use all of the skills I accumulated across all 5 of these campaigns? Can I overcome this infamous boss that stumped so many players? Can I? Nope. Not even close. I died instantly. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, you should hit that subscribe button. I would like to thank all of my Patreons, and you should check out another one of my videos. They're pretty good.